Hello everyone, welcome. It's Kira and I'm really excited to share around the secret life that God calls us to. And you're probably wondering, you're like, Kira, why does God call us to have a secret life? And what is that? And so we're gonna go over that. Jesus talks about this in Matthew chapter 6. He outlines this very clearly that we're supposed to have a secret life filled with giving and praying and fasting. And you're probably wondering, why does he want us to do those things in secret? Well, we're gonna get there. So Matthew verses 1-4, we're gonna read this part first. And this is Jesus talking to the disciples, and he says to them this. He says, "Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you as the hypocrites in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you." And he uses much of the same language in this next part about prayer. So in verses 5-6, Jesus says this, "And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you." And I think this is so interesting. Jesus uses much of the same languages between these two, and we'll continue on to fasting in a moment. But he's saying the goal of praying, the goal of giving is not to be flashy before the rest of the world to show everyone what you are doing. Rather, the goal is to give and to pray in secret, that your Father who sees in secret will reward you, that you're not supposed to be doing it so that you're glorified before everyone else. Rather, you are just doing it simply because that is how God has called you to live, and he's going to reward you for doing it in secret versus making it a big show. In verses 16-18, it talks about fasting in much of the same language as well. And it says, "And when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, that their fasting may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." And it's interesting, they call people who did this hypocrites, meaning that they say one thing and do another. And I think it's interesting, if we're following how God has called us to live, it's going to bring us into a life of humility instead of one of pride. However, when you do these things out of show, it comes from a place of pridefulness instead of out of humility. And so Jesus is getting to the point of, look, these three things, praying, fasting, and giving, are incredible aspects of being who Christ has called us to be, to mimicking him. However, when they are done in a showy fashion, when they are done to show others how great we are, that makes us a hypocrite, because we are wanting to show something that Jesus is not. Jesus was not prideful and he was not selfish. And so by doing those with the intent that everyone's gonna look at us and think we're the best or we're great, doesn't give off what Jesus came for and who he is. And so Jesus is reminding them, hey, when you pray, when you fast, when you give, do it in secret. And God who sees in secret will reward you for that, because you're doing it out of a heart posture of humility and wanting to be like Jesus and obey him in a way that is just between you and God. And so I hope this is an encouragement, and there's a reason why, and it's for your benefit, so that you can become more like Jesus, that you can honor and glorify God. And I think this is really interesting. I've been studying these verses for the past 3 or 4 weeks and diving into this and saying, okay, God, why these three things? Nothing else about our faith is supposed to be secret. Everything else, we are supposed to go into the world and just show our light. And so these things, Jesus really makes a point of saying, hey, while everything else is important to show others, to reflect me, you show others me and reflect me better by actually making these private things, by making these hidden things, because it's not a show and it's not pompous and it's not vain and it's not prideful. Rather, when it's done in secret, it's done for the glory of God and to honor and glorify Him, and not to make the show about you. And so I hope this is an encouragement. It's something that I have really enjoyed studying, and just I hope grows you in your relationship with God, because as you grow in these things and we do them in secret, we grow closer to God. And what happens when we grow closer to God? Well, we have more of the fruit of the Spirit abundant in our life because we're spending time abiding in Him. We're spending time with Him. And so these secret actions translate into visible fruit for the rest of the world, that as we do these things in secret and we spend more time with God doing them because it's not for everybody else, it makes us in turn more like Him because we are abiding in Him and spending time in Him. And His character is rubbing off on us in terms of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So I hope that's an encouragement, that you keep these things in your life a secret with God, and that you can grow to reflect Him more. I love y'all so much. Have an amazing week. If you have any prayer requests, please leave them down below. We'd absolutely love to pray for you. And if you have any comments or questions, you can also leave those. And if you would like to see more of these types of videos, feel free to subscribe and hit the like button. But I love y'all so much. Have a great week. Bye.